I think I've actually done everything I've set out to do, or at least my eyesight hasn't been the reason I might not have done something. I've lived and worked in London, I've travelled, I have a family, I have a job that I love. I'm Victoria, and I was diagnosed with Stargardt disease when I was 11. When you're a kid, you don't understand what's happening. For me, it was all quite exciting. Stargardt disease is a rare genetic disease that affects the macula. I have been registered as partially sighted since I was diagnosed, but only recently I changed to severely sight impaired or blind. With age and maturity and experience, I started to identify more with that term. It can unlock different support that I might need. The tools that I find really useful is having my phone and an iPad. If I'm in a restaurant or a cafe, I take pictures of the menu so that I can zoom in. If I am feeling brave, I will just talk to people and ask them to read it to me, which is often the easiest option actually. I love to write. One day I'd love to write a book, to be honest. I use my iPad and an actual pen function. I used to write a lot of notes. I'd write down a note and I can't read my own handwriting. But now, using a pen on an iPad, I can write on my iPad and then I can zoom into it as much as I want. Tips that I'd have for younger people coming into the world of work and into office environments is to be as clear as possible as you feel comfortable with your employer and what you need to do your job properly. Sometimes you don't know what you need, and that's okay too, because you're not always an expert in what's available. So just being open and trying things as well can be good. The more you can be honest with your colleagues or friends about what you need, the better. Becoming a mum was an exciting time for me, but also really nerve-wracking. Luckily, I actually found a lot of visually impaired mums online, which was fantastic. As soon as you see someone in your situation who is flourishing, it gave me a lot more confidence. With Henry, one tip I'd have is I dress him in quite bright colours so that when we're out, I can spot him. There definitely are things that I've found challenging, but it never outweighs the joy of being a mum. My family have known the Macular Society over the years. Although it's a rare disease, there's a big community there. I found counselling through the Macular Society a real help for me. It was the first time that someone asked me how it felt growing up with a vision impairment. What I've learnt is to really try and talk and find someone that you can talk to about it. When you have a vision impairment, trying to understand if you're being held back by your vision impairment or are you being held back by the thought of having one. And sometimes thinking about that can be really useful. You can actually accomplish anything you want regardless of having a vision impairment, and in fact it just adds something special to you and your experience and can make life a little bit more interesting.